Oh, looky, looky. Ben and I went back to the Czech version of Costco Macro, and they had it in cans this time. I didn't have to buy these huge, heavy bottles. The Juicy Lucy. It's my new favorite. Czech Microbrew. It's really good. New England, PA, but man, I just can't imagine that they would have a beer this good, that cheap, in New England. In New York, or New York? No, it's New Amsterdam. Let's get some of that. It's like, I don't know. This is different from New Amsterdam, New Amsterdam, yep. New York, or Boston, New England, man. I've never really been there. Look at that. Tutti Frutti. I've only been to Boston Logan Airport a few times, and it sucked. And I've been to JFK, and I've been to LaGuardia quite a few times too, and they're even worse. Zikowitz. 15 degrees, 6.5. You don't need to drink a shot when you drink this. Pretty tasty. Most expensive beer that I've ever drank in the Czech Republic. But if you go to the Czech version of Costco Macro, it was only 58 crowns. Can you imagine? There's a few websites that sell it and deliver it to your house for 100 crowns a can. Oh man. I usually don't like strong beers like this. But this one is really good. It's special, it's unique. And believe me, I've had like 1,000 brands of beer since the age of 15. Or maybe more, I don't know, I never counted them, but I know my beer. Rodini Pivovar. Tevoe. Das schmeckt sehr lecker. Wunderbar. Ich kaufe mir das zum 10. Mal schon. Aber ich habe dieses Bier niemals in einer Kneipe vom Fass gezapft gesehen. Nur aus Dosen und Flaschen. Yeah, sorry, I just had to speak a little German. It just, happens. Nebudu mluvit česky v češtině. Only if somebody says, hey, speak more Czech, but we'll see if anybody says that. Probably not on this Zikowitz beer review, but yeah. I have to ask my friend in Maine if they got a beer that looks like this. Man, look at this. It looks like orange juice. Look. Looks like orange juice. Pomeranchowa Stava. Orangensaft. Yeah, look at that. That's why I call it Tutti Frutti. And not Frutti di Mare. Don't get me started on that. Frutti di Mare pizza. I remember that when I lived in Germany. I worked in a few pizza restaurants in the U.S. One from New York, with some Italian, with some from Sicilia. I don't remember. Yeah, we didn't have a Frutti di Mare pizza. Not in the 1980s, early 1990s. At Corelli's, it was called. I remember one time the owner, Joe, he wanted to make a... Somebody ordered, they wanted to have a lobster pizza, so... And Joe came over, straight over from Sicily. You remember him saying he was 16, and he was in New York City, or maybe he was 15, as a stowaway on a boat. This is 1980s. He was probably 40-something at that time. He had 2 kids. I was friends with one of his kids. Worked in his restaurant. He paid us really good. Paid us under the table. So, back then, it was the 80s, you know. Late 80s, late 80s. We were happy there. I got to learn how to make lots of food. Let's drink a little beer, a little wine, taste stuff. He didn't want us drinking too much because he wanted us working. It was a busy restaurant. It was very popular in Atlanta, Georgia. There have been about 15 other restaurants I worked at, but yeah. Won't get into that tonight. This is a beer review. This is a good one. Come to Czech Republic. Do find this one. I haven't seen it in any pub. I've seen Zikovets beers in pubs, but I have not seen this one anywhere in Prague or in Kladno. Zikovets I've had. They have, 10, 11, 12. But definitely need to try the New England IPA. The last time I had a good IPA in the U.S. was outside of Portland, Oregon. There was this bar, and it was like across the street from the Pacific Ocean, and the beer was amazing there. I can't remember it was about 20 years ago. I can't remember if I drank an IPA, and I remember I drank a whole bunch of different kinds of beers, and I remember them being good, and I remember them being cheap. They were like $2 a glass, which is really cheap in the U.S. It's 20 years ago, granted, in Oregon. And it was a local place full of locals. Across the street was the Pacific Ocean. It was cold and it was windy. And, yeah, I stumbled home back to the hotel. My wife was pregnant with our son at that time. I remember that. Yeah, she was 3 or 4 months pregnant. And the next day we went to some restaurant and I drank some raw oysters out of shot glasses. I think I had like 5 or 6. And then I was bedridden for like 5 days, sick at the Howard Johnson's hotel. And then, yeah, we had to stay in Oregon 3 days longer because I was near death. It was a near-death experience from those oysters. But anyway, the beer review. Zikovets. Very good. See y'all later and have a Happy New Year. I hope you had a Merry Christmas too. Ciao.